We are so pleased to be back with you once again on the Push to Shout podcast. It's been a good damn while.
This is a dark podcast.
It is. This is a pitch black as the night, as our souls kind of podcast, but that's okay because you can't always be peaches and cream, sunshine and roses, what have you, so on. Okay, fuck that. Dude, how you been? It's been a while.
I've been pretty good. Played some video games. Watched some shit. I'll go ahead and say it. I bought PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds TM.
Okay, there's a bunch of people I know playing that right now, and it looks like a piece of trash. Explain this to me. Why is this good? Why would I want to do this?
No, it's not good. It's a piece of trash.
Okay, all right. It's exactly how it looks. Is it that bad? Or is it a little bad?
No, it's not that bad. It's not that bad, but it's bad.
Because it kind of looked like Unturned to me.
Unturned?
Unturned.
Like a game called Unturned?
Yeah, that stupid free-to-play game on Steam.
I don't remember that one.
It's like a stupid...
But there's there's a billion
multiplayer,
of these things.
Yeah. It's like a DayZ, but almost like Roblox.
Yeah, the big ones were, it went from DayZ to H1Z1 to this. And the reason it went in that progression was because they slowly unzombified that genre. And instead of just a general survival game, it's now a fight for your life, limited time kind of game where there is a definitive winner at the end who is the last person alive, or the last group of people alive.
So is it kind of like the culling?
I guess I don't know exactly what the culling's rules were, but I've heard that comparison. H1Z1 was already using it's basically H1Z1 because H1Z1 had zombies, and then that didn't become they came out with a battle royale kind of game mode, and that became the thing that everyone plays. And so this is some PlayerUnknown is some dude who created the Arma 3 battle royale mod that was very popular. And then moved on. I think he worked on H1Z1, and now he's created his own game from the ground up to be a battle royale game. And so technically, it's like the first, I guess, major battle royale focused game that's like actually made for that. But that doesn't mean that they've figured out the netcode or the physics or even the gameplay. Like it's a very, granted, early access, and apparently I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. They are diligent about actually getting a 1.0 version of this game out soon, instead of just H1Z1 has been out for years and it's still early access.
It's still?
Yeah, it's an early access game.
I thought that came out ages ago.
No,
well,
it's never gonna not be an early access game.
Jeez.
You know what's also
what are they trying to add to it? What is the?
I don't know. I don't know if there's anything they need to add. I think they're just saying our game is still broken because it's never going to not be broken. That Ark survival game that's always the top seller on Steam is also still early access, and they've come out with a DLC for that game.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
That's not allowed.
It's apparently allowed. I guess you can do whatever you want.
Veto.
Early access doesn't have any meaning anymore. You can not buy it. Like, I haven't bought it, but who cares? Because it's always the number one seller on fucking Steam.
I'd rather control other people, though. That's more my thing.
But anyway, this is the big thing now. Everyone has it. Everyone's playing it. Almost like you're probably one of the only people on my friends list who doesn't have this game right now.
I have no desire to either.
I was a holdout for a while. I had so many people pressuring me to buy this game, and I finally said, "Fuck it, $30."
It's
I actually
$30.
Like the concept. Yeah, I actually like the concept, and so I was like, "Fuck it, I'll buy it. Whatever." I did have fun. I played all Sunday. I played like 7 hours Sunday and had fun. It was fun. I won. I was playing with 3 other people, and we won 2 matches in a row, which was cool. It's fun to win. But here's the thing that ruins it. It would be fine. It has little issues with netcode and physics and just weird stuff like that. But those are pretty small issues. They don't ruin the game or anything. One thing does ruin the game, and this is not a glitch or a design flaw. It is a design flaw, it's an intended feature of the game. And that is the main point of view is third person behind the shoulder, which means you can, for example, say you're on the top level of a building, and I'm using a very specific example here because this has happened to me. or yeah, you're on the top level of a building and there's someone down below and they're coming to kill you. Mm-hmm. You can stand behind the wall on the stairwell, on top of the stairwell, and see down the stairwell. And when they come running up the stairwell, no matter how tactical or diligent they are, pointing their weapon right at the corner, you have wall hacks, and you can see exactly where they are. You can even put your crosshair on them.
Major problem.
Pop out and boom, shoot them. That's not. Why does anyone? It blows my mind that anyone accepts that as a thing that the game. It just imagine if Counter-Strike was third person. I don't know. It ruins it. It completely ruins it because when you get killed that way,
being
bullshit.
Able to see your opponent gives you a significant advantage over them within short periods of time. You really can't do a third person camera.
It's bad.
Yeah,
it doesn't work. And the worst part is that this game, especially towards the end of the game, is largely about camping. You have to hold out, and because there's a circle that slowly gets smaller, and if you're outside of the circle, you slowly die.
Oh, that is exactly how the culling works.
Okay, there you go. So that circle gets, and I think the culling stole the idea probably from the Battle Royale mod from Arma, because that's been around for a long time. So, but anyway, anyway, that circle gets slower. You're outside the circle, you die. So basically, it gets to be pretty fucking small, and there's 10 people left, and it's a 100-meter diameter circle probably, and then it gets smaller and smaller until it's basically 1v1 if you're playing single player, and at that point, whoever doesn't have to run away from the circle has the advantage because they're in the defensive position. This would be the case whether it was third person or first person, because the defensive position is always going to have an advantage. Well, now they have such a significant advantage because they can see you coming without you ever having the ability to see them. Bless you. And so you're fucked. If you're attacking a position and the person who you're attacking is competent at all, you're fucked. There's literally no way you can win because they can fucking see you. It's wall hacks, and it blows my mind. I can't believe that people accept that. And when I've raised the complaint, a response that I always get is, well, you can go first person. There's an option to go first person, which is true. But that's not the problem. You
can't make other people do that.
Exactly. It's not the problem. And there's rumors, which for an early access game, that means jack shit. There's rumors of a hardcore mode with probably less health, which it also needs, and first person only, which I would be all for. That'd be fantastic. That's what DayZ used to have, is first person servers, third person servers. And the third person servers became more and more popular, and the first person servers became less and less popular until there was only one. And I guess people just prefer third person because they like to be able to cheat, and they don't mind when other people cheat to kill them, which to me, I don't like either one. I don't like getting a kill using third person because it's not satisfying. It's bullshit. And so I don't know. I hate that about it, and it really does. I cannot emphasize. This isn't hyperbole. It ruins the game. Ruins it. And I mean, I'll still probably play more. It's kind of
honestly
whatever,
at first,
but it ruins it.
At first, when you said this is what ruins the game, I was thinking it may not be that bad, but it's honestly bad. That's a very basic kind of problem. That's an unlevel playing field at almost random, depending on where you happen to be placed.
Yeah, and I mean, of course, there's a huge element of luck. Another problem I have with the game is that the first 10 minutes or 15 minutes of each match is just you running around trying to find loot, trying to get the best weapons. They're just lying around the map, and that's not fun at all. It got boring the second time I did it, and you do it every single time, and it takes up a significant amount of time. I'd rather you just start with decent weapons, and it's focused on the killing. And maybe they'll add a game mode to do that. I don't know. But in its current format, I don't like the looting aspect of it, and I hate the third-person aspect of it. And that's what I thought that I would not like about the game, too, is I knew that the third person was something that would turn me off from it, but I still got it anyway. And whatever, I got my $30 worth. 7 hours alone, and I'll probably play more, but because it is fun with friends, like any game, and everyone's playing it, so you always have to. True. While I was playing, and I'm not all that popular, I don't have that many friends on Steam or anything, but while I was playing, I got literally 6 Steam messages saying, "You want to play?" And it was right after I bought it. Everyone is playing this thing, and so
it's the new fidget spinner.
Yeah, exactly. It's but I don't know. I don't recommend it. If you
okay.
if you are a competitive person, I cannot tell you enough that you should not get this game because you will get pissed off. If you're anything like me, you will get fucking pissed off at it. If it sounds interesting enough that you want a game like this and you're willing to look past its flaws, then maybe. But that third person shit just sucks.
Okay.
And another thing is, like, even if they go first person only, the first person doesn't feel good. I can't tell you exactly what about it I don't like, but it doesn't feel right.
Oh, it's really easy to fuck that kind of thing up.
Yeah.
Especially in one of these multiplayer,
it's a case of like
low-budget games.
Yeah, it
where
feels
it can
like
just feel bad.
Yeah, it feels kind of like, well, it's still the third person controls and everything. It's just the camera mode has literally been like put on the character's head or something. Like, it kind of feels that way, where it's like it's just kind of ugly feeling. Yeah, I don't know if that's actually what's going on, but it
like a Bethesda kind of first person
like
dichotomy.
Just kind of thrown in there, like,
that's
fuck it.
gross.
And like indoors, I want to use first person because the camera gets stuck on shit because the indoors is pretty tight, but that puts me at a significant disadvantage. So, shit, you know.
Yeah.
That's PUBG. PUBG. That's what everyone's calling it. I don't know why people don't call it Battlegrounds. They have to include the player unknown part. Everyone's saying player unknown's Battlegrounds, and it's like nobody calls it Sid Meier's Civilization 5.
It says it on Discord too. Like, it's called PUBG.
All caps.
Yep.
Player unknown's Battlegrounds is what it's called in Steam, and in Discord, yeah, PUBG. I don't know. Whatever. Fuck it. Who cares? That's what I've been playing. I don't think I have anything else new that I've been playing.
I have something. I didn't play all that much of it, but it's like the newest game that I've been playing, so I put it as the background. Prey, the new Prey game from Arcane.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I
didn't play all that much of it. I'm just gonna say that up front. But I played like a good enough piece to have some thoughts about it. I think it's really cool.
Really?
This is like, I think, what they would have made System Shock 2 if they made it today. Like, forget about all the influence that obviously had on this game. This is the kind of like package that I think they would have tried to achieve if they like.
I haven't heard much about it. Like, people haven't been talking about it really. There was an IGN review where they rated it really low, or not that low, but pretty low. Actually, I think it was like a 4 or something. I don't know, but they rated it low because they couldn't finish it.
Exactly.
And then they sent them another copy and they still couldn't finish it.
Kind of game.
Yeah.
Like, you have to basically figure out what to do.
Yeah.
It's a
but
game
like, I
where
think their problem was that it was a technical issue. I think it's kind of
whatever.
People have said it's ridden with bugs.
I have not had problems.
Yeah.
It's not like, I thought it was going to be the Dishonored 2 engine, but it's actually not. It's like some modified version of CryEngine, and
it looks good.
It does. It looks very nice, especially because they have the same. I thought it was the Dishonored 2 engine because of how the environments look. If you've seen or played much of that game, you'll know how like dense and like, I don't know how to describe this, but it's a kind of urban environment where you can see very far, and it's all highly detailed. And so like, you look up, for example, in this game, and you see like 7 floors of all these interlocking hallways and offices in the space station, and you can see the whole thing just straight up, and you go to all these places in one continuous environment, and it's really, really cool. It feels like the size of an actual space station, like of the future, where it's practically the size of a city. It's really incredible what they did with the scale, for one, and the atmosphere is just right. It's exactly what it needs to be. You feel like the entire environment is hostile, and you're on edge because anything could be a mimic. That's a very fun gimmick of this game, is a health kit that you find. It might just attack you, or you'll see something flicker at the edge of your vision, and then you turn and there's 2 trash cans or something.
So you get paranoid.
Yeah,
that's good. That's a good gimmick.
You don't like totally relax, and sometimes it gives you a good chunk of time where you're not really encountering much, and then just boom.
Yeah.
And it's the kind of, it's not a jump scare exactly, but it's like a sudden, I don't know, it's like a little change up that it keeps the exploration interesting, because you're going to be doing a lot of walking around, because this game does not tell you what to do. There is no objective marker. There's no you're reading emails and diaries and hacking things, and you're going into the directory of the space station and locating where people's bodies are, and it's like, oh, okay, on floor 6E there's 2 people who are still alive out of this crew of 40. What's going on there? I'm gonna check that out. And
Yeah.
it's so cool, and you can see, like, yeah, go ahead.
Well, what it reminds me of, the way you're talking about it, is the Alien game that came out a couple years ago.
I didn't play it.
I liked it a lot conceptually, and I liked it a lot at first. I hope this isn't the way that Prey goes, because it's a very long game. I shouldn't have looked at the length, or maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm glad I did, because otherwise I would play it way more than I did. But I got probably like 8 or 10 hours into that game, and read that it was like 45 hours long.
Oh my god!
And it was exhausting to play, because you're always on edge, and you're usually hiding from an alien, and it gets tiring. It's not like it's on the one hand, like, that's what it's going for, and it's effective. On the other hand, like, you hear the alien drop down, and I like, in my head I was going like, oh god, because I just didn't want to fucking hide. Like, I didn't want to sit there and hide. I wanted to explore the environment. So maybe that's the difference, is that at least you can fight your enemy.
Exactly.
But like, yeah, in Alien, like, you're just hiding all the fucking time, and it's really exhausting.
It's a lot more like BioShock than like Amnesia or something.
Right.
It's not exactly a horror game where these things are jumping out and just keeping you constantly on
you get
edge.
in the closet.
Yeah, it's more like you get a little adrenaline burst every once in a while, and on top of that, you actually have tons of options, almost in the same vein as Dishonored 2, where you just have this sandbox of abilities and tools at your disposal, and you can combine them with the physics engine of the game and the different powers that they give you, and it's all kinds of combinations of the abilities. They're really good at that. They've kind of cornered that market of just interacting powers in a 3D environment, a densely designed 3D environment. The level design, again, is like the highlight, just like it was in Dishonored 2. It really shares a lot of DNA with Dishonored 2, even though the gameplay is, I'd say, totally different. Dishonored 2 is much more straightforward. You start a level and you have an objective. If you're playing like with the default settings, you have an objective marker, and it's kind of clear where you need to go, and how you get there is where you kind of play.
That's interesting, because I was under the impression that Prey was like a very linear experience. I don't know where I got that impression, but maybe
there's certain areas you need to go through, but the point is, it doesn't explain itself whatsoever, so it doesn't feel that way. It's like it's one thing if you're being told, go here, do this, then you go through those motions and you're like, okay, that felt like nothing. Maybe there is only one path. I don't know, I haven't played all that much, but if there is, I can't tell what it is yet, and that alone is enough to
there's a cool moment.
Dismiss that point.
I probably saw the first like 30 minutes of that game, so spoilers for the first 30 minutes of that game. But there's a really cool, there's a really cool moment where you break out of the virtual thing that you're in, and like, it's a really, really well done moment, and like, visually it looks really great, and I really hope that's not like the best that it has to offer, because like I just have no idea. Like, I don't know anything about this game, and so like I'm really looking forward to hearing what you say when you get further through it, because I'd be really interested in it if it has a good story and like it's a lot of fun. But like, I don't know anything about that game, except that it looks exactly like System Shock 2 from the trailer.
So far it feels like I'm definitely out of the starting area, and I'm into like the real game.
Yeah.
And it's pretty overwhelming. There's so many places to go, and you're finding combinations and little notes, and you find out that, oh, this guy, he had an access code to this room. Where's his body? Oh, there's this along the way that I need to hack through to get to him. And it's
cool.
It is a sandbox game in the best way. And in that way, it does things that System Shock 2, just by its limitations, could never do. That and its gameplay. Like, I don't know if it's on the same level as System Shock 2. That's not a call that I could possibly make this early. But like, in terms of the way the gameplay seems to be unfolding, it's just straight up better in that way. Like if you have a story that really turns out to be killer, then wow, what a great way to frame it. So I'm really impressed with it so far, and I'll definitely keep playing that. But
Cool.
I put the brakes on it. I didn't just play a little bit and then just stop playing for no reason. I had to put the brakes on it because I realized I would never finish Persona 5 if I really totally dive into this game right now.
Well, yeah, that's something we need to talk about.
Yeah. Have you finished it or
No, and I'm
no?
not gonna finish it anytime soon because
What?
I had to give away. I was my PS4 was on borrow. I was borrowing it, so I was on borrowed time, and I didn't have nearly enough time to finish it.
Oh my god. That
I'm
sucks.
I'm probably about halfway through, and then I'm cut off, and
That
so I'll
sucks.
probably.
Do you have your own account at least? Did you upload it to the cloud or something?
I don't know. I mean, I can figure that out. Whatever. Well, I can figure out a way to import my save, but
Okay.
but it might be a while before I bother do that because like I kind of needed a break anyway because the last dungeon that I'm on is exhausting. I've gotten really tired of the gameplay because there was minor spoilers. Have you gotten to the I guess it's like a space station
Yeah, that's
dungeon?
Where I'm at.
Have you gotten to the barracks area where you're
No.
talking to the bosses?
Wait,
Prepare.
yeah, wait.
Okay.
Is that like the
think it's called
chief
the barracks.
security guys?
Yeah, you go like chief director, and then
Yeah,
whatever. Like
yeah.
you go through like 3 of them or something. I just kept fucking that up, and and having to redo the whole fucking thing, and it's a really long sequence with no safe rooms, and I would fuck it up at the end and have to restart it, and I was raging. I was
just
so
guessed
mad.
correctly.
Oh fuck! I just got so annoyed with it, and like, and it was confusing. It was kind of like a maze, and I kept getting lost
Yep.
in it, and I was so mad at how terrible that area was, and I was having to do the same combat over and over and over, and I was just so fucking mad that I stopped playing for like 2 weeks, and then I finally got through it. I went back to it and got through it, and I was fine, but like that delayed me a lot because I was just so fucking pissed with it. I don't know
honest,
the combat's just getting to me.
Yeah, it's presented extremely well, like we said, but it does get tedious. I mean,
Yeah.
that's how basically every JRPG is. No matter
Yeah.
the longer it goes
Yeah, it's a
on,
problem
it,
with the
it
genre,
starts
not
to
with the
show.
game.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the fact that the game's in that genre is a fault of the game to me because I don't like turn-based combat. I mean, I was okay with it for short periods of time, but for 40 hours, it really grates. So I don't like JRPGs. I think that's the answer.
I'm sort of
some people seem to like it.
I don't like it, but I actually don't mind it. I
Yeah.
played enough of them. Like I played a lot of JRPGs. I like them a lot, and so
Yeah.
I don't know. I must have developed the switch to just grin and bear it when I have to go through.
I've always avoided them. I've always pretty much avoided any game with turn-based combat
Yeah,
unless
I
the
don't
turn-based
blame you.
combat is like I like turn-based combat in like a Civ type game where there's a lot more options, but when it's just a battle, it just annoys me. So, yeah.
Now I like it when they use it to some kind of effect. Like I really like how they can have this system that you're repeating tediously through the whole game, and then when they change it up for some purpose, then it kind of stands out. I like moments like that in many different JRPGs that have pulled things like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's still not a great way to fight in a video game.
No,
I'll
and
be honest.
it's a very well designed one of those, but it's still one of those, you know. And it is really well designed, like the way that they do the strengths and weaknesses and everything, and of course the style of it all that makes it so satisfying is fantastically done. It's like if you're going to create a JRPG, like they've done like the optimal way to do it, but still a JRPG. So I still want to complete that game, of course, because I still love it, but won't happen anytime soon, unfortunately.
Other than that, I've been playing some VR. I got to try it out at
Yes,
a buddy of mine's house.
you texted me. You spoiled the podcast for me.
I did spoil the podcast. But like a month or two ago, my friend got a Vive, and I had only tried like the Vive once in a store, and it had the whale demo, the In Blue or something blue,
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
True Blue Gobbledygoo demo, and that was cool. And there was like a little space pirate trainer game, and that was cool also. But I still was like, okay, this is what it is. Then I got to try actual video games on it, and I was actually blown away. Like,
yeah.
Oh my god, it was.
Now you see what I'm talking about. It's fucking mind blowing.
The first one I tried was Rick and Morty VR. Have you done?
Oh yeah, that one looks fun. Yeah, I haven't done that one, but I've seen a lot of it.
It's funny. It's
yeah.
entertaining, especially because you get
Rick
to
and
be
Morty.
a part of it, and yeah. So that was cool. But what really sold me on it, and I'm spoiling a little bit here, was Super Hot VR. I had only played Super Hot once, the demo, when it was still getting kickstarted, or like after being kickstarted. There was like a demo before the game came out. So I played like a very simplistic version of Super Hot and never touched the real game. And so I play Super Hot in VR with the Revive add-on thing where you play Oculus games.
Yeah, because it's an Oculus exclusive, which is pissing me the fuck off with
for
that
3 more
shit.
days.
Oh, really?
Yep, comes out on Vive.
Is it coming out on Steam?
I don't know, but it's coming out 3 days. On
Interesting.
Vive.
Okay.
Anyway, that was unbelievable. I
still haven't tried Super Hot VR, and that was that was actually one of the things that like sold me on the concept of VR, was like hearing that they're gonna make a Super Hot VR, and I was like, that sounds fucking incredible. That's like exactly what I want from VR.
As incredible as it
I can't believe it's taken me this long. I haven't even played it yet, but like, yeah.
To see the bullets flying directly in front of you, and I mean they're right there.
And if people aren't familiar with the concept of Super Hot,
stick your tongue out and lick them. Like,
it's a slow motion thing, so like everything's happening in very slow motion.
Yeah. So time moves when you move. That's the premise of the game. In the PC version, you're considering your actions. Okay, I'll press D to move to the right here to get to the right of this bullet, and then I'll turn and I'll click on that guy's head. And so it's kind of a methodical kind of,
it's almost like a puzzle
arcade shooter puzzle. Yeah, and then it plays out. It's got a cool style, and it plays out all
Oh, it's fantastic. I love
in
Super Hot
VR.
so much.
I felt like I was in the fucking Matrix. It was the coolest thing. Like, one of the coolest video games I've ever played, especially because that was like one of my first real experiences with the VR headset. God, the bullets are right there, right in front of you. There's a level in Super Hot VR. The game's pretty short. I played through the whole Super Hot VR game, but I still just want to do the speed runs. I want to do the endless mode. I want to do everything, and I want to play it fucking forever. But there's a level where you're on like a pole dancing stage, and you have no weapons at all, and all the enemies are completely out of your reach. So all you can do for like a set period of time is dodge their bullets. And there's 3 of them that are surrounding you, kind of, and they're just firing it away. And it's beautiful. It's beautiful. You're weaving in and out gently. You're ducking under bullets. And it was like some kind of weird Tai Chi airbending motions that you had to do to... Overall, like, that and Robo Recall. Did you play that?
Mm-mm.
Dude!
I don't know anything about Robo Recall.
It's like John Wick. You're I don't know. It was actually like super I don't know, active. Like I was jumping around and ducking under bullets.
Sometimes it's surprising, like even if you're not playing like a super active game, but like Rec Room for an hour will you'll start like realizing that like, okay, my heartbeat's been up just a little bit for a while, and it's like after going on like a long walk or something where it's like, okay, I've actually had a little bit of exercise here.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Robo Recall, you got to play that.
All right.
You got to play that. That's Epic Games.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I thought it looked more like a demo thing when they were showing. I don't know. I didn't even know that was out.
It's amazing, if only for the visuals.
Yeah.
Because it's Unreal Engine 4 and it's VR.
Yeah.
You get it looks real in some ways. Like that was the game where it was the most uncanny with just how real it all felt. It's kind of like you're playing out in the streets and you're shooting the robots and you have all these cool weapons and you teleport around and you can grab them and rip them apart, and so there's the gameplay there, But then there's also like the parts in between where instead of using menus to upgrade your stuff or pick your weapons, you are in this like office/laboratory area where you kind of prepare and you can test out weapons in a range, and you can also just interact with the stuff in your office. And unlike something like Job Simulator, it's like realistic. So I stepped in front of my desk and it felt like, oh my god, like if I reach my hand down, I'm going to touch a table.
Did you ever get a little bit unbalanced, like trying to support yourself on anything? Because that's happened to me once.
Yeah, it happened on that table.
Like trying to
I tried to lean on it a little bit, but you can't, and it really tricks your brain.
Moment. That's a fucking weird moment. You feel like this is gonna sound so fucking lame, I guess. I don't know. This is gonna sound. People are gonna make fun of me for saying this, but it feels like you're experiencing a moment in history when you're so immersed in VR that you actually like lose your balance because you're trying to lean on something that doesn't exist. It's like, holy fucking shit, this is a leap in technology that like is historic. Like it felt like that to me. Like, holy fucking shit.
I agree.
It actually tricked my brain. It tricked me. And I've never had a video game trick my brain like that. It's 100%. still like playing DCS, playing the flight sim. When a missile comes flying at the fucking windshield and explodes, I go like I freak out because like it's a missile flying at me. So that shit like really blows my mind.
I think you're totally right about that. Like, it's not often that you like smartphones were one thing where it's clear like this is the next thing.
This is a leap,
it's a massive leap forward.
Yeah, and of course it's rudimentary, but that's the whole excitement of it to me is like the potential is crazy and scary.
Just imagine that with the resolution maybe triple what it is right now in some years
or even just
whatever.
Double.
Even that. Then I don't know. It could be
crazy. Yeah, you extend the field of view and like all that shit, and like it starts looking really good. And another thing that like a lot of games are about a decade. Like they might as well have been made a decade ago because of the graphics having to be lowered so much. I found that like I think the Epic thing like sounds really interesting because that's a studio that's like really good at optimizing the graphics, and there's not a lot of those studios doing that with VR. Most VR games just kind of go the cartoony way of like Rec Room and what you're talking about, like Job Simulator and stuff.
Job Simulator, especially.
I'm surprised at how well that works.
Style I'm seeing.
Yeah, and like in VR, like I didn't feel like that hurt my immersion too much or anything. Like it still feels very immersive, but it would be very interesting once things start looking really good. Like a good lighting system and all that shit would like go a long way. And there's some Valve demos that look pretty good that you should probably try out.
The lab looked pretty cool.
Yeah, download the lab and just try out some of those. And like one of them in particular.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention I bought one.
Yeah, he bought one, and it's arriving tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I got the.
I'm super excited. I hope you can play tomorrow night. I don't know when it'll arrive or how much time you'll have.
And I actually don't know. I may have to like move my computer somewhere, like, because. Hello? Fuck. What? Oh my god. I can't believe I just did that. That was historic. Okay, hold on. I'm reconnecting. I'll tell you what I did when I get Skippy back on. This is great. Only on push to shout.
You're not. I can't hear you. Okay.
I cannot believe I just did that. No, I did not unplug it. But
no problems on this podcast, folks.
I think it looks like it kept streaming. So.
Oh boy, you're calling me on the phone here.
No, on
Skype. Oh no. Okay, I sorry. It shows up on my phone and the computer at the same time, so I.
But I reached over to gesture to my computer, and I hit the power button by accident.
So you just turned it off.
I did. I didn't turn it off exactly. It went into like, we're going into sleep mode. Please confirm you want to close everything. And I'm like, oh shit. So I canceled that as quickly as I could, but now I gotta like relaunch Skype and stuff. Anyway, point is, I may have to move this computer to be able to have like the space that you need to walk around in some of these games.
Yeah.
Though, I do have a completely unjustifiable until now laptop that can actually run VR.
Whoa. Holy shit.
So that might be super convenient. It probably won't do a great job, but a
Yeah.
980M, it's
I'm
pretty
still-
equipped.
I'm
I did the
impressed.
test, like the benchmark test, and I'm like right on the border between yellow and green, so I think it'll be fine.
I'm impressed with how well low frame rates work, because like I've been told that if it's not 90 frames per second, you're going to get sick, period. But I've found through experience with badly optimized games that you can go as low as 30 and it's passable. It's not great, but it's passable. So, you know, it's a trade-off, but the important thing is, like we've talked about this, like they pull some tricks so that it's not, the 30 frames doesn't like
right.
It doesn't look that bad.
It is not
doesn't
your
look like 30
entire
frames.
perspective that becomes 30 frames per second.
That would
you're
be
still,
sick-inducing.
You're looking around and it's in step with how you're moving your head,
Yeah.
but objects will kind of jitter,
And
and
I
it
think,
looks
like-
very bad when that happens.
Yeah.
I don't want to like understate it and say it's like a solved thing, but it's not as horrific as it could be.
Yeah, and an earlier iteration of the Vive, I think, didn't have that or had a lesser version of
That
that.
would be rough.
And I think that's what people got the impression that, like, okay, their low frame rate just won't work, but now they're pulling tricks with it. I don't know if like stuff like the Sony VR, like it probably doesn't have shit like that, and I've heard that it runs at a pretty low frame rate sometimes.
Yeah,
and
that
I
I'm
feel
surprised
really
they
bad
can
for
even
people.
run it.
I feel really bad for the state of VR when people try Sony VR and assume that that's VR, because like that's such a gimped experience. It's a much less powerful machine. It's using much less tricks to track your head movement, so that probably doesn't feel very good, and it just doesn't. That's a bad way to be introduced to VR, I think.
100%.
But
I haven't
yeah.
tried it, but if it's like what I've heard, then I don't know. Like the only one that ever appealed to me was the Vive, because on a technology that's this like bleeding edge, crazy step forward, you don't want like the second best or the third best.
I agree.
If you're
You gotta
gonna
go
do
all
it,
the
you
way.
gotta do it, and that's
yeah, and I think the Oculus is real. Like if I was just using the Oculus for flight sims, it'd be perfect because it's a lighter headset. It works fine for not moving around the room. I don't even need the motion controls or anything like that. But I've really enjoyed the room scale stuff, and I feel like some really cool stuff is yet to come out in it. And so I'm happy that I got the Vive. But I've found that like I've got a pretty big space. I use this room, and it's got basically no furniture except my desk in it. And
that must be
it's
nice.
Yeah, it's not the biggest space you can get, but it's probably, I think it's like medium space is what it would be defined as. But I found that for the large majority of games, it doesn't matter how big the space is, as long as you can turn in a circle and spread your arms out, you're fine.
I could do that here.
Yeah, because like most games have like you're either teleporting or you're just moving around, and so you don't need to walk around the room. You know, Job Simulator and stuff, it's really cool that it does let you do that, and I haven't really tried much of that stuff yet, but for most games it's fine.
Super hot, it is not fine.
Yeah, that would probably be one.
And
Yeah.
I kind of encountered that in a different dimension than the actual limitations I'm facing, in that my friend's ceiling was very low, and in Super Hot, you're throwing objects.
Yeah.
Thankfully, he said like I do that all the time, but I like smashed the ceiling several times.
I don't know how I haven't. I've got a light up there that's hanging down about 2 feet from the ceiling, and when I throw grenades in Onward and I'm lobbing it up like that, I have smacked that thing so fucking hard, and somehow it hasn't broken. Now I think about it every time, and I either crouch down or I throw underhanded, and it doesn't work as well underhanded. Like it's an unnatural motion, but it's what I got to do.
Well,
but it's funny. It's funny that those limitations exist. Like I think about myself in a video game having to crouch down and just to throw the fucking grenade, because in real life I don't have enough room. It's just a really weird fucking thing.
It's one of those ceilings where you don't even reach all the way up, and I don't know what I'm saying here. The point is, like, my elbow is bent when my palm is flat on the ceiling, kind of level. Yeah, definitely. And so super hot, I'm just bam smacking it into it, and it's so jarring because you look up and the space above you is totally open and clear. It looks like it's an actual gap of space in front of you, and then you hit something and it feels so weird. And another kind of weird issue that's not like a space thing and more like a VR thing is stuff on the ground. I don't know, it never seems to work as well as I think
I've had
should.
that issue too.
Like something will be too low for me to pick up, and I physically hit the ground with the stick trying to bend over enough to get it. I don't know.
I think it's a problem with the games.
Okay, yeah.
Because like the way like you synchronize the ground in Steam VR or whatever, and then a lot of games like ask what your height is and stuff, and I feel like they calibrate it and the games don't sync right or something, because I have different problems in different games. Like Rec Room, I don't tend to have that problem at all.
Okay.
But in Onward, I have that problem all the time, where it's like I just can't get all the way down. And then usually in Onward, it's not a problem. You're not picking stuff up off the ground. But like, it does seem to happen differently in different games. I don't know why.
I got to play a little Pavlov, and didn't get to play Onward. But doesn't the movement work the same way? It's the trackpad.
It's the trackpad. Yeah.
Okay. I just wish it was a joystick. I wish you could move with a joystick.
I get used to it, but yeah, there's just no reason for it to be a trackpad. And it's also something that I've realized is it's very confusing for people, especially if they haven't like played a lot of video games or something. Like explaining, oh, you need to click on the trackpad or like put your thumb in a certain place on the trackpad. Like it's a very unnatural feeling, and so people will just
it is learning a new control scheme. I felt that for sure. Like I don't really know what to do here. I have to actually pay attention. Okay. This menu says it'll do this, and
and the placement of the
how do I grab my gun
is weird. Like, oh, there's two grip buttons on the side, and like explaining these things is like really weird. And they're coming out with a new controller, and the Oculus controller looks similar to the Oculus controller.
What's it called?
But I don't know what they're calling it, but it's going to be the next iteration of the controller for Vive. But the Oculus controller goes like around your hand and tracks, I guess, each finger or at least a couple fingers, and so it's more of a like natural like. You're actually using your hands instead of, and the Vive's going to be the same way. It tracks each finger, and so that's going to be like way better for a first impression, because trying to explain to people where the buttons are and shit, it's nice when you're playing. Like, by the way, did you try Google Earth VR?
No.
Holy fucking shit! That needs to be like the fucking first thing you need to do.
I need to actually like put together a list or something of
stuff
I gotta try.
The two best experiences and long-lasting experiences in VR are both free, and it's Rec Room and Google Earth VR.
Okay.
They're fucking incredible. Google Earth VR is unbelievable. It's fucking unbelievable. You're gonna be. I cannot hype. I feel like I'm hyping this up too much, but now but no. Thinking about it, like no, it's mind blowing, and you're gonna agree with me. It's fucking crazy.
At this point.
But Google Earth VR is nice.
The fountain.
Google Earth VR is nice to like as a first impression for people, because the controllers show up in the game, so they can see where the buttons are, and it has little things pointing to the buttons saying what they do. Rec Room is just a hand, and so it's very confusing. And so that is like with a new technology, that's stuff that people should be thinking about. Like, how do we make this easy to use for people who aren't familiar with it? Because you got to sell people on it, and people aren't being sold on VR very quickly, and I wish they were, because it is fucking amazing.
It really
is. Future.
It really is. Okay, now what can you do? This is a question that's kind of hard to get a straight answer to if you're just Googling. So, what is the best kind of thing you can do if you're like sitting down with VR? Like if you have the headset on your head and you're just chilling.
Yeah.
What can you do with it?
Google Earth VR is a good sit down experience. I'd rather be standing, but it works fine sitting down. I've done it. Obviously the flight sim stuff, because I'm using the joystick and stuff. Anything that's like a cockpit simulator is made to be sitting down.
What if I don't play games like that generally? This is gonna be where I try them for sure.
Yeah, because like you should try like I don't know if you. Elite Dangerous isn't free, is it?
I don't care.
Elite Dangerous is a good VR one.
I want one that's kind of like accessible.
I think a good accessible, great cockpit game for VR is been my favorite so far. Is what's it called? House of the Rising Sun.
Okay.
It's kind of a stylistic space dogfight game, and it's very simple, and it's tons of fun, and it's a quick single player experience, and it's great, and it uses the controller, and it's wonderful. That's the one that I would recognize. That's the one that I would recommend first. Like I think it's pretty cheap too. But I don't know. I'm not an expert by any means. It's mostly, if you're looking for VR only games, they're usually going to be room scale stuff. Just because that's where you get the greatest amount of immersion. And I've been surprised. Like, I started working out about a month ago, so I haven't really seen the progress yet. I'm getting buff. I'm working on it. But I've been surprised at like the first few nights that I had VR and I was using it for hours at a time. I'd get tired. Like my legs would start hurting. Like I've been standing up all this time, and like I just kind of get tired, and I want to play a sit down game. And so like I've had the same thought of like, well, what can I play that I can sit down in? Because like I've legitimately gotten tired playing it.
Is there a like watch together kind of equivalent? Like some kind of theater? I heard that was one of the demos.
I haven't tried that stuff. But absolutely yes. There's a few things like that.
That'd be cool. I think that'd be cool.
It'd be cool. I think the gimmick would run out real quick though. I don't know if it would be like a fun thing for a while. But
imagine that you had like 10 people on a Mumble or something, and they're all in the same room. That would be a different experience than like
it would be
just a gimmick test run.
It changes a lot when you're seeing what someone's doing with their hands and head alone. Rec Room, we're gonna fucking do Rec Room when you get it you get it set up. That needs to be the first thing we need to do. Rec Room, because first of all they're still updating that game. They updated it and they have 2 like co-op, almost like campaigns. Like I've only seen one of them so far, but I was showing someone Rec Room last week, and they went over to this corner, and I was like, oh, this is something I don't know about. It was like this corner where there's like something set up to look like a spaceship looking thing, and then there's something set up to look like a dungeon thing, and it's like the whole concept of Rec Room is that it's the Rec Room at like a high school or something, and so it's like high school students have made little cardboard cutout demons and stuff, and you go into this dungeon and you're just walking through the school, the halls of the school or the rec room or whatever, and they're like dropping down from the ceiling on strings, and you're fighting them with like a sword and stuff. And I guess like the spaceship one, you probably have a gun. And I've actually heard they're like a ton of fun. I haven't seen a whole lot of them, but I want to try one really bad.
This is the game where you can put buckets on kids' heads, right?
Yes, yeah, you can put buckets on people's heads, and especially children. It's so funny too, because you can spot out the fucking children because they're that tall. That's one of the wonderful things about Rec Room, or about any multiplayer VR experience, is like the realization that height matters. Like in Onward, I have a bit of an advantage. I'm kind of a tall person, and I can peek over some things that other people can't. And so I'll be like peeking over, and I'm thinking like, the 12-year-old on my team, I'm 6 feet.
Okay.
And so the 12-year-old on my team, he can't peek over the same shit I can. He can't shoot over to the fucking APC that's in the street, and like that makes a difference. And that's the kind of shit that like I don't know. It just makes it these things that like you realize that sets VR apart. It's really weird because like it's adding the human element to a game that hasn't ever been seen in a game, and it's cool. I can't say enough good things about it. It's so neat, and it needs a lot of work, but
yeah, I
love it.
I don't think anything that you've just said is at all overhyping it. I totally am bought into it at this point. I mean, you have to be bought into it to some extent to shell out that much fucking money.
Absolutely.
But it was like a bug, like a virus, The first time I played the actual games for it, it just planted itself in my brain. And then it was like a month, and this whole time I had my plan. I was like, I'll wait for the second generation. I don't need it that
That's
bad.
what everyone's saying.
I don't need it that bad. I'll just wait for the next one. And just like a month passed, and I'm like, okay, every day I need this more. And yeah, it just broke.
And I think something that people fail to realize with the next generation thing is that if you're waiting for a next generation headset, the price probably isn't going to go down any for the headset, and you're going to have to upgrade your PC a lot.
Yeah,
because it's probably going to be like a few years from now, and it's going to require a much beefier machine to like get the actual advantage of the next generation stuff out. So
I'm hoping
I
don't
don't think
survive.
that's like I don't think that's necessarily a more cost efficient thing to do is wait for the next generation. Like, I don't know, if you're thinking about buying in, my opinion is if you can afford it and you're thinking about it,
and if you have a
you've got
PC that can run it now, then
obviously, yeah, or you can upgrade it cheaply. Then yeah, fucking buy in, man. It's awesome. It rules. It's fun as hell.
I'd rather have that than like they're good games, but the technology is cool enough to me that I'd replace my PS4 with that if I had to pick one over the other.
Yeah, it's cool. It's great. I still use mine all the time. I mean, obviously it helps when you have like a specific game that uses it that you really love. But...
Is Onward like fun enough that you will just like play that just to play a video game, not to...
Yeah, I haven't done it in a while. Just because I haven't had that itch, but like,
what are you playing right
it's a
now?
fun shooter. In VR?
Yeah.
I usually just play DCS in VR. That's what I use VR for. But like, I'm really, really excited to play Rec Room again.
Okay.
And I don't know if I mentioned this, but like when I was recording the year in review thing, and I was playing VR just to record it.
Yeah.
It had been a little while since I'd played Rec Room, and I needed to record some footage of Rec Room. I started recording it, and I was literally going to play like 5 minutes to just get the B-roll footage to put in my video.
You started having
I
fun.
played that for literally like an hour with it recording, and I completely forgot it was recording, and I was just goofing around for an hour. It's just fun.
Nice.
And it's a social thing too. So like if you find people that are fun in it, then it makes it a really long lasting thing. And there's a few games that I'd really like to try. Like you mentioned Pavlov's Room, and I don't know much about it, but I know that it's like a little bit more arcadey than Onward. It's almost like a Call of Duty style shooter.
Yeah.
And
I didn't get to play Onward, but that it definitely seems more like a Counter-Strike than an
Onward's
Arma.
Onward's like a. I don't want to compare it to Counter-Strike because it's so slow paced. It's much slower paced.
It seems more like Arma in that way. Not that I've played much of that, but
it's a simulator. You know, I mean, it really is a simulator.
Which normally I don't give a fuck about because I hate that. I hate when I have to like simulate shit with a keyboard because that's not natural at all. You
Arma
have to learn
has,
what all the goddamn buttons do and what brings
thing.
up your inventory and what switches to this pack and what puts you in this position and aim down the sight, and that's stupid. I'm not into that. Other people are. That's fine. But personally, that's never been my thing. But to do that in first person and to actually like hold the sight up to your eye and to crouch down or to peek around a corner, that stuff was in Pavlov, and that was the coolest stuff to me. What wasn't so cool is just the bots and shit running around, everybody just sprinting around and headshotting, you know.
Oh, sounds like Call of Duty.
A little bit. It wasn't that ridiculous, but Onward sounds like a more methodical kind of
Onward's
simulator,
very methodical, and it's kind of the thing where we'll play together, and so you can kind of stick with me, and then I'll be able to like tell you what's going on because
you got my six Sarge.
It's a very confusing game to jump into.
I'm sure.
It's like you don't know what's going on, and then you get shot, and you don't know from where. So it would be nice to have a helping hand there. But the cool thing about Onward is like there's a little shooting range that you can go into and practice shooting or whatever. I had to go in there and learn like reload animations. I'm calling them animations. I had to learn how to reload these guns because a lot of them, you know, have different requirements for reloading. Like if you have a machine gun with a belt that comes from a separate cartridge, you have to open up the top of the machine gun, pull out the cartridge, get a new one off your belt, put it on there, pull the little belt out and put it into the machine gun, and then close the thing and cock it. You have to do all that, and it's great. And I had to like learn how to do it because there's like buttons and stuff you have to press the controller that like simulate you like flipping the switches and stuff on the sides of the gun and stuff. But like it's neat that you have to actually like learn that stuff dynamically and use it in. And like, you know, someone might have an advantage if they're really quick with their reloads or something like that. And it's not just a set animation that takes a certain amount of seconds, and it's really neat. I love it.
I can't wait to get home from work tomorrow and use it.
We're definitely going to play tomorrow.
I need to figure out some way to mount it.
That was a problem for me.
Can you put it on a tripod? Is there a way to do that?
You could if you want. If you have a tripod, it doesn't come with one.
How would you fix it to it? Would you just have to somehow do it yourself, jerry rig it?
You'd find a way. I'm looking at mine right now and I'm thinking about it. I'll tell you what it comes with is a little base with 2 screws that you can screw it into something. And the base has a gimbal on it and like a 5-inch long pole where you can twist and turn the little thing around to point wherever you want. And I think it comes with like some adhesive stuff you can use if you want to use some kind of adhesive.
So if I had a shelf, I could just put it on the shelf.
Yeah, you could easily put it on the shelf. And you might not even need to screw it down or anything. But it does need to be very stable.
I'd prefer to do that if possible. So
yeah.
Right.
But there's 2 of them, and you have to have them opposite sides of the room.
Yeah, I can do that.
Ideally. So
does the height how important is the height?
As long as I think it prefers it up high, but as long as there's no physical obstructions, you know, as long as it can see you wherever you are in the room, then it's fine. And it has a very wide field of view too. So for me, like I just kind of put them haphazardly. One's much higher than the other one, and they're kind of pointed all weird.
I'm glad it doesn't have to be that.
Oh, it lets you do all that. Yeah, like I think you could put one on the ground and one up high, and it'd be fine. You just want them facing opposite so that if your like controller is close to your body and you're facing one direction, it's going to be blocked from one. But as long as the other one can see it, then it's still tracking.
Okay.
And it's really cool. A thing that you should try. This was, I don't know, there's certain weird things in VR that I keep bringing up because they just like blew my mind, even though they're like a really simple little thing. But one thing that blew my mind was I was looking at the little camera thing, and I put on the headset, and like when you're not playing a game and you're just in the dashboard area or whatever, it shows the cameras and the controllers where they are. And so I put on the headset while I was looking at the camera, and there it was in VR, like exactly the same place. Looks exactly the same. Yeah. It's just that there's nothing around it anymore. And it's like, I'm jacking in. It's just like, it's like right there. It was just fucking weird to me. And then like another weird thing that I haven't personally experienced, but I love to fuck with people when I show them VR, I get the controllers and, you know, hand them to them, and they're just seeing these controllers come at them, and like it's just really weird. That shit is just fucking bizarre. Did I mention I was flying my plane and I saw a thing out the window and I realized it was a glove that was being rendered in the game because I had a controller on.
You said you recorded
weird
it. Did
shit
you upload
like that. Yeah, I need to cut that clip out. But weird shit like that is just so fucking weird. I love it.
I'm pumped.
All right.
I'm really pumped.
And maybe I could definitely stream it from my end.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I
we
probably
can have a
wouldn't
stream
want
or
to
something.
I would just want to.
Yeah, it's a pain to stream VR too. You have to kind of set shit up. You have to figure out how it works. Like,
I'll have time to set that up another day. I just want to play it.
Get in as quickly as possible. Yeah. And for me, it was a pretty quick setup too. I didn't have any issues with the setup. Like, it goes by pretty quick. It probably takes like an hour from opening the box to get fully set up.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
and
surprisingly
you had to
easy.
like actually mount them, right? Or what did you do it for?
I had to screw them in and everything.
I don't think I'll have to do that. I have some nice.
Yeah, if you don't have to do that, like you're gonna put the controllers on. I mean, you're gonna put the little cameras on. You're gonna plug them in or whatever, and then basically you plug in the fucking headset. You download the software, and you're instantly in VR already. Like once the software is downloaded, and then like all you have to do is like calibrate where the boundaries of your room are. Like you touch the controller on the corners of your room, and it creates a little room space for you, and then you're ready. Basically, it's surprisingly easy.
I'm dead until I try that. I'm dead.
That's how I started feeling. I mean, you went through the same process I did, because for weeks I was sitting there thinking about it, thinking about it, and I realized like this bug isn't going to go anywhere. I'm not going to stop thinking about it. Yeah, so I had to, and I'm glad I did. All right, well, we've talked a lot about that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have I had some other things I was going to talk about. I saw Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I did
and it
not.
was surprisingly good. Actually, it was my favorite Marvel movie so far.
So far, ever.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have a lot of competition. I'm not a big fan of Marvel movies. It's not a fantastic movie, but it was very fun. It was funny and entertaining, and had a nice little story and characters that I liked.
I liked Winter Soldier and the practical effects of Civil War a lot. So
I didn't see Civil War, and I didn't care about Winter Soldier. I watched it and had the same reaction I usually do, which is like, yeah, okay. Prisoners by Denis Villeneuve. I saw that movie.
Oh,
pretty good.
That guy. I like that.
Yes, that guy. Have you seen Prisoners?
No, I've seen.
It's good.
You know, Serpico, his great film, Serpico.
Oh wow. Yeah. No.
For some reason, I'm blanking on the name of the Sicario.
Sicario.
Serpico is that Al Pacino movie.
Is it? Is it an actual movie?
Yes.
Oh,
okay.
I thought you just. I thought your brain just made that word. And
no.
I was like, Prisoners. Prisoners is another one of his movies, so it's good, and I recommend it. I watched the first episode of Twin Peaks today. Actually, I watched it, and I like it a lot because they're coming out with a new season, and like that show aired. Yeah, it aired. I think the first episode aired last night, and it's a big deal, and I want to get into it. I don't got anything else.
I've been watching Better Call Saul. It's still good.
Oh yeah, fuck yeah, it's great. I love it.
Are you back into it now? Or?
I'm caught up. Yeah.
Oh, nice, nice.
I think it's airing it aired tonight or is airing right now.
Just started airing now.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we're missing it. Whatever.
But it's a cool ass show. I don't really watch it live.
I watched it live for the first time last week, but
there's a lot of commercials on AMC.
Yeah, it's hard to watch live TV when you're used to streaming shit.
But
yeah,
very cool.
it's incredibly good. I think the season 3 has been the best season so far, and it's just doing really, really fucking well. I really, really enjoy it.
They've just gotten better at making shows.
Yeah, yeah. I people have talked about this for years now. It's played out, but I really like the state that I don't want to say television, but that series are in like right now. Like people still call them TV series, but a lot of them are coming out on Netflix only and stuff. But it's just a lot of good shit coming out that aren't movies.
Yeah,
and that's really cool.
Long form TV. It's doing well. So yeah, that's been cool. Also saw Alien Covenant.
Oh really?
Yeah. And
how was it?
Well, this will matter a lot.
First of all, I want to know something first. Did you see Prometheus, and what did you think of Prometheus?
Okay, this will matter a lot.
Okay.
I have not seen any Alien movie at all.
Whoa!
Not seen Alien, not seen any of them. This was
wow.
The only one I've ever seen.
Interesting start.
I've heard that it kind of like
Your
I'm
microphone's
aware
doing weird shit.
Okay.
I'm aware. Cable.
Still doing
good. It's good.
I'm aware of Alien and the stuff that happens in it just through general osmosis, but I haven't seen the movie. And I heard that this new one, beat for beat, kind of rehashes that first movie. That didn't have the chance to bother me because I didn't see the first movie. I
watched the Half in the Bag. Did you watch the Half in the Bag on it?
I did.
Yeah, I don't think
they were way more down on it than I felt.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, and they've seen the rest of the stuff, but I don't think it's one for one a rehash because the first Alien is like it's slow but like you spend a lot of time with the alien on the ship, and it sounds like this movie not so much. But
yeah,
anyway,
you don't. That's more of a whatever. I won't say something like that.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
There was a lot I liked about it, and one of the things I enjoyed a lot was the visual design, like the
Prometheus.
Way they shot it.
Sorry to interrupt you again, but Prometheus is one of the best looking movies I've ever seen. I was blown away by the visuals in Prometheus. It is. I recommend that movie on the visuals alone. Like they're fantastic, and also Prometheus got a bad rep and didn't deserve it. It was a fine movie with really, 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 really serious plot holes and very stupid characters, but it was a fun, good, fine movie, and I like it, and I would watch it again. Actually, like it's a yeah.
This movie, it has the very stupid shit problem that you just mentioned in some ways, but overall I liked it, and the things that it did that were different from like the classic Alien icons that even I know, having not seen the movies, I like that it didn't do too much of that. And it felt like a different kind of horror movie than what I've seen of Alien 1, where that's more of like an atmospheric thing. That's about as specific as I'm gonna get. I don't have any right to be more specific, but I've heard secondhand that it's more immersive and yeah, this is not that way, but it's a very competently done thriller and like horror thriller. It's not slow. That's what I'll say.
If it weren't for the cultural significance, I might not say that Alien and Aliens are must-see movies, because they're going back to the now. It's just kind of like, okay, this is a kind of, I won't call Alien generic by any means, but like it's a competent horror movie. It's a simple movie. It's a very well-made simple movie, but it's a simple movie with like, there's no serious good plot or anything. It's just kind of a alien movie. And then the second movie is an action movie. It's a very well done action movie, but that's what it is. It's an action movie. And but their cultural significance, I think, is major enough that they are must see. Both have like, there's things, and especially Aliens, there's things that upon watching that movie, I probably saw it like, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago, but I watched that movie and I realized how many things, especially in video games, draw influence from it. Just down to the design of the Marines outfits, the Space Marine outfits. It's exactly the same as the Marines in Halo. The Pelican in Halo looks exactly the same. Lines being quoted in Call of Duty and all that shit. Like the games just take shit from Alien constantly. And then like the design of the little outpost, the buildings at the outpost and everything, like the atmosphere of it, it's just it's been stolen from over and over and over and over again. So it's really interesting to go back and see that. And Alien is just a very unique movie, I think, because of the way the spaceship is like really dirty and grungy and lived in, and the people on it are like people. The dialogue is written very realistically, where they just kind of have these conversations and they'll talk over each other and shit. And it's really, it's not quite so impressive today when you've had other directors who are very good at that same thing. But I can imagine at the time, like having a sci-fi movie that is so realistic feeling, it was a major factor in its, influence, because like a horror movie that draws you in, that's also a sci-fi movie, like that's hard to pull off. And it's probably not as good to go back to now, but you definitely
I'm
need
excited to go back and see him.
Yeah,
like this movie got me interested in doing that, so it's good for something, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
That'll do it. I don't really have any news or anything. Not anything major.
Much. I have a disappointing lack of news for the Nintendo Switch. I did play some Mario Kart, the Mario Kart 8, but that's really all that's going on the Switch so far. If they launch the Virtual Console, fuck, who cares? Jesus. If they launch the Virtual Console at E3 or something, that would be cool. They need to do that. That's the next thing they have to do. They have it's a portable to be able to play something like Mario 64 or like a GameCube game even on portable. That would be amazing. So I thought
maybe they were trying to not do that in order to sell the little mini NES that they were selling.
But then they stopped.
And then they stopped selling it. It blows my mind. They fucked that up so hard. Like, that could have been a huge thing, and they just blew it. I don't really understand any of that. It doesn't make any sense. Whatever.
Hunter pointed out Red Dead Redemption 2 delayed. Yeah.
Big news. If you didn't expect that.
It'll be delayed again. So.
Yeah. Destiny 2, they showed that. It's been like the first E3 thing of the year, I guess. So maybe it's somewhat significant, but it looks
That looks
exactly like
so
fucking Destiny 1.
bad.
It looks so
like the same
underwhelming.
game.
Yeah, it's the same game, and they were advertising. I saw on Twitter they were advertising 4 new areas to explore. It's a sequel, and there's 4 new areas. That's it. That seems like a fucking DLC to me. I don't know. Those areas are small to begin with. That was a major complaint in Destiny 1. It just seems like
That's
I thought they were
depressing.
gonna make that a whole new game, like a whole different kind of game, and change a lot of stuff. And no, it's just a Destiny 1 expansion pack. It's coming out on
They're
PC.
just trying to ride it out. Get the third
Yeah.
game out. Do something
Well, I
else.
think they probably figure they've got, they do have a lot of people still playing that, and so they figure, well, we've got those people, so why
I have
like
yet to meet them.
why change it up? And my brother-in-law's one,
Really?
but why change it up? Yeah, he's a casual. You know this. I've mentioned him before. He's a casual.
New.
But there are a lot of people who do play it, and so I guess they figure we've got those people locked in. Don't want to change it too much and piss off the people we already have, which maybe makes sense, but it's kind of disappointing because, like, coming out on PC, I'd be excited if they change stuff up. Like, okay, I could do with a co-op shooter of that style. Like, that could be fun, but whatever. Not really interested now. Nothing else to say. E3's coming though. E3's on its way. Kind of exciting.
That it is.
Gonna have some
Is there
podcasts
anything, like,
about
big?
E3.
Is there anything big that
Like announced?
we would expect to be seeing there? That's like we already know about.
I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2, but then it got
I don't think
delayed,
they're
so
gonna show
they might
much.
not
I
even
think
show
these
anything.
Screenshots are going to be about what we get for now.
I don't think. Yeah, I actually don't think they'll have an E3 presentation on Red Dead Redemption 2. God, I don't know. I can't think of anything.
Nintendo's probably going to be Mario, obviously.
Yeah, and yeah, I don't know. I really can't think of anything.
Sony?
Halo,
They have shit.
Halo, and Call of Duty.
Halo 6. Finally.
And Battlefront 2. These big games that we care a lot about. They're gonna be there.
They should not be allowed to do that.
Just keep those games off the show.
No,
They shouldn't be
Battlefront
allowed
2.
to make Battlefront 2.
It's one thing to do the reboot. We're just going to call this game the original title. Star Wars Battlefront. That's one thing. That's already pushing it. But then you take the name of the most iconic game in the series and still enduringly more, I don't know if popular, there's probably more people playing the new one at this point, but like for over time and the legacy, Battlefront 2 is the king. To be releasing another game and to just call it Battlefront 2, you have some big balls and they're gonna break like big blueberries.
None of their audience cares. Nobody.
What
Nobody
audience?
they're selling
Who
to.
cares? They're gonna
People
they're
play
gonna
them.
get the
People will buy
game
and
and
play
they'll
those games.
Yeah, whatever. They can all jump off a building. They can all
There's going to be space this time.
step
You
into
can go
a
to
crocodile's
space.
mouth. That would be
You
cool
go
to play in VR.
Just like
though.
Battlefront 2.
A dice kind of Star Wars pilot game.
Much like Battlefront 2, in which you could go to space. Battlefront 2 will let you go to space. It's like poetry. That's all, folks.